Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. This is your host Sri Iyer. Today is a landmark day for Kerala. Mohandas TG, a petitioner in a case which involved control of Kerala Dewaswom Board of about 3,000 temples that were being controlled by the government. Mr. Mohandass, and we have talked about this in the past, Mr. Mohandass had challenged the constitution of this board, how it was being chosen amongst, and how members were being selected in this. Now, there was this thing came up before Kochi, Kerala High Court at Kochi, and today the judgment has come in. To hear about all this, let us go to Mohandas TG. Mohandas ji, welcome to PGurus channel.
Hello, hi, welcome. I'm so happy to meet you again.
Indeed, it's going to be a landmark judgment because it comes right after the Supreme Court's ruling on Chidambaram Temple. Mohandas ji, can you walk us back from the day several luminaries appeared on your behalf in the Kerala High Court, please?
Yeah, I will take you through that. In fact, 14th February was the first day of hearing. And for me, from Supreme Court, Senior Advocate Mohan Parasharan appeared, along with Advocate A. Raghunath. My main arguments were that Hindus are not being properly represented in the election process to the Dewaswom Board members. That was number one. The members are being appointed in a clandestine manner. There is no serious qualifications prescribed to become a member of Dewaswom Board. There are only basic qualifications saying that he should not be insane, there should not be any criminal case against him, and he has to be a Hindu. That is all. No administrative experience, no knowledge about temples, nothing is required. So what was happening is that there was a huge favoritism, partiality, and nepotism. And also the political parties used to issue whip on these MLAs who are electing, that you elect a particular candidate. That means there was no free choice for the MLAs. All these things put together, I challenged and I requested various reliefs from the government. Number one, to declare all this process, the concerned sections, as unconstitutional. Number two, bring in transparency in the process. Number two, democratic principles have to be there. Everybody has to get a participation. Everybody has to have a chance of becoming a candidate for the election to the Dewaswom Board. If some eminent person is there, there is no chance for him to become the Dewaswom Board member, because Dewaswom Board members are being selected overnight by politicians from their own fraternity. Now, you cannot put an eminent man there. An eminent man will not go lobbying with ministers or MLAs. So, eminence was given a go-by continuously. All these things were raised by me. Now, 22nd February was the last day. On the closing day, there was a straight one-to-one question answer between the Advocate General and their lordships, Devan Ramachandran and Ramachandra Menon. Devan Ramachandran posed this question: Mr. Advocate General, don't you think that the system is suffering some sort of secrecy in the process of election? The Advocate General said, no, that is all taken care of by the ministers and MLAs. Their wisdom should not...
They let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, he said the wisdom of MLA and minister should not be questioned by the court. The court said, we are not questioning their wisdom, but we are definitely questioning the qualification of people whom they are putting at the helm of affairs of the Dewaswom Board. Otherwise, you make it public. Now there is a Dewaswom Board. There are 3 members. Nobody knows what is their qualification. They may be eminent personalities. We don't deny that. But their eminence is not publicly known. So better, Mr. AG, you do one thing, you formulate a procedure by which the public can assail the qualifications of the board members. Before selecting or electing or nominating, you make it public that following names are being considered for board membership, and those citizens who have some objection may be filed within 21 days. So that people can file, oh, I know this man, he is entangled in a rape case here. Nobody knows that, but I have got the details, and he will upload the details and you can discard the name. Something like that. Now what happens is, you know whom you are selecting, but we don't know. The court doesn't know. The ordinary public doesn't know. This cannot be. Then Advocate Parasharan raised another issue. He said, see, even the Padma awards are being nominated. Awardees are being nominated by ordinary public now. Whether that nomination is accepted by the government is another thing. But you have a chance to promote eminence in this country, even for Padma awards. You can recommend somebody's name. Finally, the government will decide. Therefore, here also, you give a chance to ordinary citizen to suggest some names, few names, so that from that also you can make good choices, good selections, so that everybody is happy and contented. This is what happened during the argument. And finally, in the judgment also, it reflected. Parallelly, Dr. Swami raised a very basic, serious issue. Unfortunately, I didn't get the copy of the judgment. For some reason, today, High Court server is down and they are unable to upload it. They were trying since morning, but they could not do that. I hope tomorrow they will upload it. I don't know on what basis they have discarded Dr. Swami's arguments, but Swami had a very strong argument. He said all these Dewaswom Board, everything is bogus. These temples were taken over during British rule. An enemy country has taken over these temples. And with great difficulty, we threw out the enemy. And the temples are still remaining with the government. This is absolute injustice. This has been already specifically covered in Article 31A of the Constitution, that if you have taken over some institution, whether religious or not, for a particular purpose, you are supposed to give it back after that purpose is served. Now, generally, all temples were taken over. Even during British time, the takeover was for the reason that these temples are maladministered. Okay, maladministered, it was taken over in 1811, and you are keeping it for centuries together. Your maladministration is not straightened even today. So I urge this court to give it back. Then court said, no, see, there are too many owners to this temple, to whom we will hand over. Dr. Swami said, you hand over to whosoever is there. There could be 150 owners. Now, Dr. Swami said, I am fighting a case in Chennai, in which there are 150 owners, 150 claimants of the temple. That doesn't mean that government can hold the temple. You give it to 150 people, there will be a civil dispute between those, and that will be settled eventually. You have no right. Number of claimants should not affect the right. Right is a right, howsoever big may be the numbers. This was his argument, very valid argument. And I have to get the full judgment so that I can send it to Dr. Swami for analysis from his side. So that is the present status today. But as of now, the court has closed my petition in the fond hope that the government will implement its recommendations. Court has also specifically recorded its distress that previously also some guidelines were issued which were not considered by the government. So at least this time you consider. So what is happening is, now this is the last warning High Court is giving to the government. If government is not heeding to High Court recommendation, now next time High Court will straightaway formulate a scheme and hand it over to the government for implementation. So for me, I may have to wait for another 5 or 6 months. Just see if the government is making everything transparent, and if they are not making, then definitely I can knock the doors of High Court again, saying that your last recommendation also has been thrown to dustbin by this government. Please interfere now directly. Court has every power to interfere. It's not that they don't have power, but they use the power very delicate, discreetly, and they don't wield it at the drop of a hat, because they don't want to enter into the area of legislature. But if such a situation arises, in fact, Karnataka High Court has entered into legislature area. Supreme Court has several times entered into legislature area. Kerala High Court has now given a last warning. Probably they may also enter the legislative area if government fails to implement this recommendation. But if they implement the recommendation, what is going to happen is the role of the government will slowly get reduced in the administration of temples, because people will assert themselves, people will bring nominations, they will assail the qualifications of the politicians who are nominated by the government. All these sorts of the floodgates of litigation and complaints will be opened, so that the government will be in an embarrassing situation. They have to withdraw their candidates and put up original, eminent, good candidates suggested by the devotees. This is what is going to happen. So one way it is helpful for the government, the other way the politicians' grip over the Dewaswom Board will come down. That is why I claim that this is the first victory for Hindu society. And whatever judgment has come in favor of Hindu society today, I, with all my humility at my command, I submit it at the feet of Bharat Mata and Hindu Samaj.
Those were touching words, Mohandas ji. Now, I have an accompanying post that PGurus is going to release today, where we have detailed some of the excesses that are happening among government-controlled Dewaswom boards. And it just, blows your mind away that, pujaris have to pay money to become candidates for becoming the priests in some temples, that trustees have to bribe the government to become trustees. Suffice to say that what comes into the coffers of the temple probably are not making it directly to the government. There is considerable pilferage. Now, what you also bring up is an interesting scenario where if there is 150 owners to a particular temple, how is this thing going to be sorted out? And I think, we have to wait and see, because there will be a way will come out of it. But the most important thing is the people have to have faith in their temples, and they want those temples to go back to the days of glory when temple used to be the center of public life. Mohandass, would you like to add something on some of the misadministration and maladministration that is already in place in several temples?
I'll tell you, it's maladministration has become the order of the day. Now, auditing is being not regularly done. The last auditing in Travancore Dewaswom Board was in 2012-13. That too, I have to file RTA application to get a copy of the audit report. That is not an advisable thing, because they should upload the audit report in their website, which they don't do. I took audit copy of Cochin Dewaswom Board also. Their auditing is 1 year ahead, that is 2013-14. Till that time they have audited. And there are several discrepancies. I got the audit report of Guruvayur Dewaswom Temple. That is the biggest corrupt administration in my opinion. Because, they have deposited money in cooperative banks, but they don't have fixed deposit receipt. The auditor is continuously asking them, auditor gave them 90 days to produce the receipt. Because they say that we have fixed deposit in following banks, not one bank, 70 banks. And not even one receipt is available with the Dewaswom Board. So the auditor says, how do I believe that you have a deposit there? Show me the deposit receipt, or at least a bank statement. Nothing is there. And the amount involved is around 210 crores, which they claim that they have deposited in various banks without any receipt. This is the situation in Guruvayur. And gold deposit, no inventory has been done from 1976, will you believe? How many years? No inventory has been done. Everybody claims that there is 110 kilo of gold. Okay, who knows it is actually gold or not? Who has measured it? Who has weighed it? Nothing is there. This is the situation in Travancore also. Everything is being fleeced by these authorities. The new technique is, for the past 10 years, what they do is, they remove the original golden ornaments and put duplicate ornaments in that place. So that whosoever is taking a physical stock, he will see that this many bangles are there, this many headgear is there, etc. Numbers will tally, but the quality will not tally. No inventorying, nothing.
So what happens to the original ornaments taken away?
Two things are happening. One thing, they melt it and sell it in the ordinary market. Number two, it has got certain archaeological value also, antique value, which they export through some clandestine route. And probably there are people in Italy who are fond of taking antiques from India. Dr. Swami used to say always, along with names and addresses. Probably those people were taking this archaic ornaments. I don't know.
It's really sad that the wealth of India is being plundered by every which way possible. And, I think as citizens, we as the citizens are weighed down so much by day-to-day trouble that they don't have a way to lift up their head to see what else is being stolen, some of their beliefs, some of their, jewelry. It's really, really sad how this is happening. And I hope that this initiative of yours is a spark that lights the imagination of Hindus, and that, they believe that now, yes, we have to start asserting our rights, our authority, and our culture needs to re-establish itself in God's own country. Thank you very much, Mohandass ji.
Thank you. I will add one thing.
Oh, please. Go ahead.
I'm not dejected or disappointed. See, you can see everywhere assertive Hindus, Virat Hindus coming up everywhere. Not one Mohandass. You will see several Mohandasses in Kerala from here onwards. Not many people have given me support. They are ready to do anything, everything for getting back our temples, and the old glory of Hindu society will come back. Fighters have emerged. Now we have to go ahead. No looking back from here onwards. Thank you very much.
Excellent last words, Mohandass ji. Yes, I'd like to plug for Virat Hindustan Sangam here. Virat Hindustan Sangam is its main role. It's an apolitical organization. Its main role is to educate and empower the youth of India. Thank you very much, sir. We'll meet you again soon.
Thank you. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.